Peace. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living, omnipotent force, the writer, the author, the Spirit which has no beginning and has no end. It's just always existed. Okay? So when you're speaking about a beginning in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, that is the beginning of the fall, the beginning of the materialized world. Okay, before that, the materialized world didn't exist. Here we're at Deuteronomy chapter 16, the Passover. Okay, observe the month of Aviv and celebrate the Passover of the Lord your God, because in the month of Aviv he brought you out of Egypt by night. Sacrifice as the Passover to the Lord your God an animal from your flock or herd at the place the Lord will choose as a dwelling for his name. Why didn't his name and then the name put there? Constant misdirection. The Supreme Spirit, the Lord, there's no name really given to the Lord. It's kind of funny. It tells us that when the angel comes upon Mary and says that you'll bear a child and you shall call him Emmanuel, then why is everybody calling Emmanuel Jesus? How did somehow Jesus supersede Emmanuel when the Bible is telling us that he will be called Emmanuel, and nobody on this plane of existence is calling Jesus Emmanuel? That within itself is it's mind-boggling what people go through, all of it. Do not eat it with bread made with yeast, but for 7 days eat unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, because you left Egypt in haste, so that all the days of your life you may remember the time of your departure from Egypt. You know, this is a mind-blowing type of thing for me because, folks, slavery still exists on this plane of existence. And slavery is like one of those things that should be completely 100% eradicated from the face of the earth. Slavery shouldn't exist at all. So whatever God here it is in the beginning that's allowing slavery to now exist isn't anything to do with the God of love that pours out love, tenderness, compassion. This God that has tenderness and compassion, understand that he uses something that does his work, his dirty work for him. Everything it's just the same on the plane of this existence as well. There's always a godfather, somebody in charge, somebody you have to ask. You can't just up and kill somebody. They just can't become a mark. There has to be purpose within the laws and rules of this reality construct that we live in. You break the rules, then naturally you are capable of dying or being killed from someone. Walk straight and upright and love the Spirit, the truth. Teach your children this, then you'll get much further ahead. Let no yeast be found in your possession at all your land for 7 days. Do not let any of the meat you sacrifice on the evening of the first day remain until morning. You must not sacrifice the Passover in any town the Lord your God is giving you, except in the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. Now I guess, okay, now you have multiple names here for the God of Israel as well. You have Yahweh, you have Yah, and then you have Yahweh. So here's 3 names too as a perfect example of what I'm talking about, that even the children of God, I just firmly believe in my heart that the Supreme Spirit should have one name, okay? And that multiple names cause confusion, and multiple names for gods on this plane of existence are names of other gods. So, yeah, I've just convert my love, my passion, my intimacy with the Spirit of truth. That's where I'm at today. I don't The Spirit of truth knows my heart. He knows where I've come from. He knows everything about me. To be omnipotent, it would have to know everything about you, correct? Yes. There you must sacrifice the Passover in the evening when the sun goes down on the anniversary of your departure from Egypt. Okay, roast it and eat it at the place the Lord your God will choose. Then in the morning return to your tents. For 6 days eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day hold an assembly to the Lord your God, and do no work. The Festival of Weeks. Count off 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to your standing grain, then celebrate the Festival of Weeks to your Lord your God by giving a free will offering and proportion to probation. I guess I've been on probation so many times in my life, it's ringing in the back of my head. Offerings in proportion to the blessings the Lord your God has given you. And rejoice before the Lord your God at the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. You, your sons and your daughters, your males and your female servants, the Levites in your towns, and the foreigners, the fatherless and the widows living among you. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and follow carefully these decrees. So everything that's coming out of Egypt, again, bondage and slavery, the festivals of the tabernacle. Celebrate the festivals of the tabernacle for 7 days after you have gathered the produce of your threshing floor and your winepress. Be joyful at your festival, you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites, the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows who live in your towns. You see, I don't believe in male or female servants, okay? People are human beings. They're not meant to be owned. There's a soul inside the flesh suit, and it's not meant to be owned by another soul inside of a flesh suit that wants to make you its slave. Please tell me that you can see that and that you understand that. For 7 days celebrate the festival to the Lord your God at the place the Lord will choose. For the Lord your God will bless you in all your harvest and in all the works of your hands, and your joy will be complete. 3 times a year all your men must appear before the Lord your God at the place he will choose, at the festival of unleavened bread, the festival of the weeks, and festivals of tabernacles. So 3 times a year. And does this festival still to this day take place 3 times a year? If it does, why don't we ever hear of it? When is Israel going to come together as one party, serving one supreme spirit of truth, okay? If you're getting your truth from a man on this plane of existence, then I'm sorry, probably 98% of you are getting inaccurate information and are on the wrong trail. Okay, no one should appear before the Lord empty-handed. Each of you must bring a gift in proportion to the way the Lord your God has blessed you. Okay, so this would be tithings, giving back tithings, and then again, I don't believe in tithings at all. That's why I don't ask for anything. I don't ask for donations. I don't ask for anything. If the Supreme Spirit is almighty and he truly blesses those that love him, then I don't need anything from anybody else. I only need the Spirit and his protection, his guidance. He will make sure that it is that I get what it is I need. No matter how it is he uses other people to do it, whether they are good or bad. He will use others in his promise to provide good things for you, proportionate to how you yourself have given back to the Lord. Well, I think that everything that we give should be given to the Spirit, is our heart, our love, our soul, our minds, and strength. Everything. You know, start looking at the structure of words, folks, and understand that we are cells. C-E-L-L, a cell. We are made up of cells. And what is a cell? A cell is a cubicle. It's a box. It could be a gel cell, the flesh, a cell, captured, encapsulated, trapped in your flesh suit, your soul, into this materialized world. Okay, don't get stuck in the materialized world. Nothing that is out there means anything. If you have a roof over your head, clothing on your body, and a meal in your stomach, blessed are you before the Spirit of God. You don't need anything outside of that relationship between you and the Supreme Spirit. I trust in what I can't see, the Spirit of truth. Okay? And I know that the Spirit outside this plane of existence is real, just as I know that people on this plane of existence are an illusion. Judges. Appoint judges and officials for each of your tribes in every town the Lord your God is giving you, and they shall judge the people fairly. Really? Has anybody seen anyone getting judged fairly on this plane of existence from anyone? It's not true. No one is judging fairly. No one. Do not pervert justice or show partiality. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the innocent. And boy, aren't these people, isn't that what they do? I've come to realize that these parasites, they attack you about the very things that they are doing to others in their chambers, in their back rooms. They are vile creatures, and it just gets right up underneath of your skin when you're being accused of doing something that you do not engage in. Yet you know that these parasites are the ones that do so. Follow justice and justice alone, so that you may live and possess the land of the Lord your God is giving you. Worshipping other gods. Do not set up any wooden Asherah pole beside the altar you build to the Lord your God, but yet you're building an altar to the Lord your God, which makes no sense at all. You know, for the Ark of the Covenant. This is an idol. To me, it's a graven image. Okay, so it's like, it makes no sense at all to me that anybody, that the Lord your God is making you make an ark that's made of gold and all these precious metals and stone and cherry wood and all these poles and the pole holders and all this beautiful arts and crafts that's been put on it. It's still a graven image. Okay. And do not erect in a sacred stone, for these the Lord your God hates. So stones, do not erect stones. You think that these stones just erected by themselves in the middle of nowhere like this, Stonehenge? Do not erect stones for yourself. This is all symbolic, folks, of what's going on. These are erected Egyptian pyramids that were done thousands of years ago, and to this day, technology can't figure out how they place these millions of tons of rock and moved it from one place to another in the middle of the desert. So because of these ancient buildings and the work that they were capable of doing with this stone and craftsmen, that would last through the ages forever, now where are we at? We still can't duplicate or replicate these stones or move them unless heavy equipment operating already existed during that time. And if the world in history repeats itself, then why is it so difficult for others to believe that we've already been through this, and today's technology that we're being taught of is not new technology, it's old technology being reinvented again, living in a bubble, in what you would call a loop, You see, we live in some type of loop. So this isn't any fantasy stuff, and they're showing us in all of these movies. Look, if cloning is real,
he's not the clone. You are.
So history here is telling us in Hollywood that they're at this point where they're capable of cloning human beings. I mean, if the technology took place 35 years ago with that sheep, whatever they called that sheep, Dolly, I believe it was, and you think that they just stopped testing? This is the government, folks. No, they've never stopped testing. I'm absolutely 100% sure that they are cloning their own selves for body tissue, body parts, whoever knows what it is that these people do. Think about it. They're the rich, right? They're the elite. They have so much money. I mean, they have everything that they want. Of course they want to stay young. Of course they want to live forever. They have everything that's ever handed to them. They're treated like gods. They've made themselves gods. These people have made themselves images of God. But what we all got to understand is somewhere down the line, something created a materialized world. Revelations chapter 13, 15, Bible Hub. And what you got to understand is it was permitted. Something was permitted to give breath to an image. Now, we all know here that an image is a phantom. It's the spirit of the dead. It's a ghost. So something was permitted to give breath to an image, us, the image of the beast, of the first beast. Again, I've went over this many, many times. You got to start thinking, okay, first beast. Well, when's the first time the beast is used in the Bible? Genesis chapter 1, verse 25, Bible Hub. Right here. God, this God here is Elohim. Remember, folks, this is something that is used of the Supreme Spirit. It is not the Supreme God. This God here is used of a Supreme Creator. Okay? This is one that says that there is none beside him, or beside the Spirit. I don't know if the Spirit is male or female. I just know that it's Spirit. That's all I know. And I'm worshiping the truth. I pray for the truth every day. I'm humble before the Spirit. My ego has been broken. He's plainly showed me the reality of this construct that we live in. So we have to put these puzzle pieces together. So Elohim is not the Supreme Creator. It's plural. And anytime you're talking about a plural, then it's something that is used of one God. Everything good and evil is to the glory of one God. So the revelation was permitted. Something was permitted to create a materialized world. Right here. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, Bible Hub. Anytime we're talking now, in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Again, this God here is Elohim. Elohim is a plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used of the Supreme God. This is so in your face, critical, and understanding. Now you know that just because it says God in the Bible doesn't mean that it's talking about the Supreme Spirit. It's talking about other gods. The Spirit uses other gods. The Spirit allowed in the beginning something to create a material world. In the beginning, this God, Elohim. Elohim are men that have used technology, advanced technologies that we think is new when it's all old, and they're creating multiverses, bubbles between our reality, the true reality of who we are, spiritual beings, and trapped inside of a material world. You got to wake up from the delusion that we're all living. Okay, those that are created in Genesis, Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, Bible Hub. This one created in an image is imperative for you to understand that it's a phantom. That this, in the definition for a phantom, the noun for phantom is a ghost. Okay, so this is an illusion. This man here has created an illusion, kind of like when you put the ocular sets on, right? The games that people are playing with, they put on these headsets and they go into a virtual reality. Well, we're already in a virtual reality, and that's what evil's trying to do, is they're trying to put a bubble and more bubbles, more multiverses between you and the reality that you live in now. This is why it's called the multiverse. Okay, this is not good technology, folks. They're trying to sell you this technology as a good technology because it's going to help people to hear. It's going to help blind see. It's going to help those that are lame walk and stuff, because you're going to be able to bypass something that was blocking the connection between your motor skills, between that what you're able to use, your legs or your arms or whatever it is that's paralyzed. And it's going to be able to reroute that that tentacle, man, at the end of the days, and you'll be able to move. It's that simple. So this God that created a man, he created himself, properly, self's definition is individuality, and individuality has the word duality, and this is why this God created himself in an image, a male and female. This is mankind being created. Mankind is not the same as human. Okay, human and mankind have been laying down with one another. Mankind are beasts. They're kind of a man. Human are those with the breath. All flesh is the same, except some flesh has the breath of God on it, and that's what makes you different from others, because you have the breath of God. And I don't know how Satan knows this, man, knows that you got the spirit on you, because in this plane of existence you get treated like shit. I'm telling you, when the scales come off your eyes and you start realizing, you're like, wow, everybody has really been truly against you. People are against you in your family, your friends. You go to somebody with your own problem, you're expecting to hear some kind of support from them, and it's something you never get. They're always pointing something out that you could have done it another way, or why you're doing it in the first place, and they don't support you. And well, evil doesn't want truth being spoken, and that's what I try to do. I try to bring this knowledge of the hidden meaning of what scriptures are being said. So we're going to end that. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Blessings to all that serve and worship the Spirit of truth. One Spirit supreme over all things. Okay? You want the Spirit of love and all that, then you have to go to the Spirit of truth. Okay? You're not going to get the love. The love on this plane of existence, folks, I'm sorry, is a two-faced love. It's as long as you're making the person happy and it's all good times and stuff, but then I don't know what happens. People start getting wacky. They start doing things that aren't right within the relationship. You shouldn't be flirting with other people when you're in a relationship. Your eyes should only be on the one that you're with, okay? And when you go out, you should be dressing up for your husband, or your wife, not for everybody else that's out in the bar. I'm guilty of that myself, so I'm sure we're the same with many of my other relationships. You are in a spiritual battle. You're fighting for your soul. Do not let the flesh lead you. Gird up yourself. Be strong. Ask for the truth, and it'll be presented to you. And once the truth is presented to you, folks, there's no turning back from it. Okay? you turn back from the truth once it's been presented to you, then you thought that your life was miserable before you came to this knowledge and understanding. Watch the dysfunction that can be brought into your life thereafter. Be cool, man. Call out, have a relationship one-on-one with you and the Spirit of Truth. Ask for no mediators between you and the Almighty, okay? You're a part of the Almighty. He requires you to love Him. He wants to hear your voice and your words telling Him that you love Him. He doesn't need to hear your voice going to a minister, placing somebody as a mediator between you and Him inside of a church. It's not necessary. Stop doing it. Much love. This is White Raptor News Ministries.